Well, hello everybody. This is Parvane Pursayati. I am going to be your instructor for the term. I am a professor at the college. I have been teaching my friends for about close to 25 years. I have been a scholar, I am an author, I have published, and so on and so forth. I graduated from Columbia University. Oh, some of you were not born, I'm sure, when that happened, and some of you might be actually my age, right? And I am only 30 years old, right? We can already tell. But anyway, so it is a distinct pleasure to be teaching you, my friends. I will have 90 students this term, and this is going to be the only time that I can establish eye contact with you, right? So my relationship with you throughout this course, right, will be basically on an intellectual level, right? On an intellectual level in which I put forth for you my thoughts, and we go through the history of our world, right, together. So there is usually, I mean, when I'm in classes, I give a lecture, right? Not not the lectures that you will see me giving in general, but a lecture, right? Like the type that parents give to their children, your parents give to you, right? Or you give to your children, right? So I'm going to give you that little bit of lecture now before we proceed. Yes, my friends, I promise you I won't be too long. Yes, and the whole purpose of this is so that we start from the same footing, right? And that is the following. History is very important. History is probably one of the more important disciplines with which you have to deal, right? Because history is something, right? Without a knowledge of history, right? Um, we wouldn't know where we're coming from. We wouldn't know what happened, right? For us to get to the place we are, which is not a very pleasant place. It's actually a very, very horrific place, right? But okay, we all know that, right? And that's why we are together here, right? Why? What has happened, right? What has happened to take our world, right, to the place that we are, right? What difference does it make, right, whether or not we know our history, right? Who wants to know what happened? What difference does it make? What happened 5,000 years ago? I couldn't care less. Uh, I have a life to deal with, right? Today, at the moment, right? I have a life to deal with. Why do I have to care about something that happened 5,000 years ago? What has that any relevance to me, right? I'm not going to give you the answer, obviously, right now, right? Um, since you have registered for this course, right? I am presuming, right, that at least you have, okay, besides, we all know that you need credits, right? History might be fun, and history might give you easy credits, and the presumptions that might go with this kind of thinking, right? Of course, mistaken presumptions, right? Um, we will see, We will see what difference does it make for you to know the history of your world, right? It makes a difference for you to know that, when the Constitution was written, when the Constitution of the United States was written, and in it was written, all men are created equal, right? Such an important document, right? Unless you know your history, you will not know, right, from that document, unless you know your history, that is a lie, right? Yeah, because it does not, all men were not created equal at the time the Constitution was written, right? A great multitude of men in the United States were in in slavery conditions, right? Women did not have the right to vote, right? And so on and so forth. So it is important for you to know your American history, right? To realize that the history has been deleted, right, from your American history, right? If the history, so I want you to think about it, my friends, right? If the history that is so yesterday, right? So yesterday that is continuing today, right? If that is you know, and we cannot figure out what is the worth of this Constitution, right? While it says that all men are created equal, and we don't know why men were not equal, right? If we don't know that, and that's so early, it was just yesteryear, right? Um, imagine, imagine what other histories have been deleted, yeah, from our memory and from our collective psyche, right? You need to have your history, right? I mean, everybody needs to have. If you do not know your own history, if you do not know, the conditions of your parents, your grandparents, your ancestors, how was it that ultimately it came to the fact that you have the luxury, right, of sitting in classes, right, and in New York City, in the midst of all that is happening, you have the luxury, right, to sit and do history, right, to cultivate your mind, right, to attempt to become a fully civic human being, right? Civic, meaning that you become civic, right? Meaning when you are really aware, right? You try to do your best, right, to contextualize what is happening around you, right, with a perception that is open, right, that has already been critically engaging, right, the history of our humankind together, right? So I am hoping that already, because you are registered in my course, right, at least I am sure that you have some curiosity about the topic. I commend you for that, right? Even if you have taken the course for credits and a good grade, which is not guaranteed in this course, right? Unless you work, of course, right? So even if you have taken this course in order to get a credit and whatnot, I hope that by the time we are finished together, right, by the time we have taken this journey together through our course, right, in the next few months, I hope by the end of it you realize that it is actually history is in fact one of the elementary sciences, is one of the prerequisites for becoming a full human being, right? Because having a notion of a past and how we got to the place where we are, right? And what histories were deleted, what histories were created, and that is the second thing that I want you to pay attention to, right? The first thing is to really actually, want to do this history with me, right? And the second thing, of course, is to do it critically, right? What does it mean to do something critically, right? To view the world critically, right? It means that you do not take for granted, right, the issues that you are presented with, right? Automatically, right? You always ask questions, right? Why is it that so many of our population has to live below the poverty level, right? Why is it that black lives don't count? Where did we come from? Why did this happen, right? And you think, right, it goes back only 200 years ago, right? And nobody knew that this history was deleted, right? Until it was kind of too late. I mean, it's not too late. Whenever you stop a horror, right, is you're ahead, right? But you have to critically question what goes on around you, and you have to do that in order to be fully aware, in order to be a fully aware human being that walks on this earth of ours, right? Yeah, that of course, and yeah, you know how lucky I am, right? I'm extremely lucky, right? That I can talk to you, right? That I feel privileged that I can teach you, my friends. When I am in my classes, I leave half of me in my class, right, before the class is finished. I promise I will do for you, to the extent possible, what is required of me. Unfortunately, I cannot walk past by you. I cannot make eye contact with you, right? And I cannot laugh with you. You cannot laugh at me. I cannot laugh. Oh, you can laugh at me perhaps, right? But I cannot laugh with you, right? And so on and so forth. But one thing I am sure of, right, my friends, and this is why I am so privileged, right, is that I will be through this semester dealing with 90 brilliant minds, right? 90 brilliant minds. For the first thing, right, the first thing that we, all of us, should know, right, is that we are extremely rich, right? Extremely rich, yeah. Although we might not have the material conditions that testify to that, although we are not Trumps, right? But we're extremely rich. You know why? Because we have this, right? We have been given a mind, a brilliant mind in your cases, right? Minds that can discover. Yes, my friends, discover the world. That can do anything if you set your mind to it. Though these are the kinds of riches, right, that you have. Right, so as I will be talking about in the syllabus, I will be doing my darn best, right, to impart to you and to exercise with you this whole issue, this whole matter of critical thinking, right? And take you through a voyage, right, of our species, right, from the uh, late date that we became, right, in the whole evolution of mankind, right, that we became sort of um, thinking man, right? Thinking man and thinking woman, right? So my friends, I think I'm gonna stop here. Yes, as far as that goes, um, uh, I this would, as I said to you, this is the first time, that this is perhaps the only time that we will be that I will be talking to you, trying to sort of get to you in your living rooms, or wherever you happen to be listening to me. But I am very excited about starting this journey with you, and I hope you're excited about it too. And um, well, that's it for now. Yes, looking forward to teaching you, my dear friends. Until later. Bye.